Alright, hell yeah. So I'm going to make a video on the spin. So we do a shoulder spin this direction. We lay our boat in so it kind of hits. The big part of the wave is right here. So that's kind of the aspects. We do have a big part of the wave that the back gets pushed against, and that's kind of what kind of wedges the boat in. So this one goes really well. I'm going to pause the video right when we hit right here, just so you can see where the back of the boat is. So I'm trying to drive in and then just get this to hit and tack so it spins. It's kind of hard though, because I kind of have to drive in deep and then lay it in and then have it spin. But even just right here, when the boat spins, this is going to both spin the boat this direction, but it's also going to push the boat this direction. So if this water is trying to kick it out, it can kick it lengthwise and the boat can, go this direction. But because this pile's here, the boat gets wedged up against that pile, and it's harder for this to get up and over. So you get a really good rotation. I throw in my paddle stroke, and so this move kind of goes, and I think I could do it on repeat just by laying it in deep and then just having the boat spin. And so I'm just kind of learning on the fly, because this wave is really difficult. Like if it wasn't even last year, just playing around, and even going into this year and saying I'm gonna come out and then learn something on this wave as many times as I can, I would have just thrown in the towel at these low flows. But anyway, hell yeah, back to this. So, and yeah, we're going to really dig in the pry. And then we're going to try to do it again, because we do lock it in. And so we're able to surf back over to that side. And we're still on that left side. So this is my left side. We're on the far side of the wave. This works really and yeah, it's kind of interesting. Sometimes it's easier to enter the wave on the nearer side, like if you're paddling on the pile. But then also, I'm going to talk about this. If you're on the other side, I'm going to call this a shoulder turn. So like on the way in, I'm going to call it a shoulder turn. Even though I might use the word shoulder turn for the spin we just did, that was a shoulder turn. Where our stern where we got wedged up against the pile with our stern. Yeah, that was the shoulder. We turned the shoulder direction. So when we were in this wave, we turned towards the shoulder. The stern of the boat gets butt up against the wave. Sometimes you want to spin up against the pile, because the pile will stop that rotation and then it'll lock you in for a 180. Okay, so we're gonna spin and just kind of see where we line up. And so here's still the pile. So when I spin, now I'm up against the pile. And if I shift my weight to the front, that can even stop the spin momentum. And so I wouldn't even have to switch sides. And do I switch sides? Let's see. So yeah, so I'm on this side, and now I'm just switching sides to face, I'm gonna jump to the other side, but then face this direction, and so that essentially puts me on the left side again. Had I just rotated around, that would have worked too. And then I think what I can also practice, even just on this small wave, is to focus on, because my body's up against this pile, I can stop the rotation just by leaning right on this tube right there, because this is spinning up against I'm going to slow down. The pile is like a pyramid. So always think of this pile as a pyramid in all like 4 directions. So, this way, and then towards that far side, and then this side. It slopes down towards this side, and then it slopes that way towards the other side. I can't really express that, but hell yeah. So this tube goes up into this pile, and it would have to kind of ride up, and yeah, you see it kind of riding up. So all I would have had to do, just from a spatial awareness, is do this turn, and knowing that this whole tube is gonna broach up against that pile, I'm on that tube, and I can stop this rotation just by a body shift right there. And even if because it's hard to turn 180, but that's fine. I'm just going to look this direction, get on this tube, and then what I need to work on is throwing my paddle this way into the water and just trying to pry. Even though the pry is weird, it's just kind of sweeping strokes to the right and left with my paddle, but just kind of feel that, and then maybe do a quick 180. But hell yeah, we do a classic style in this one of a rotation. And so we do the rotation and then we jump to the other side. It's actually, because we did a shoulder turn, this is interesting because I've been having a hard time switching sides from this offside. But this one's going to be fairly easy. On the other wave, I was doing a pile turn and up against the pile where... and this is interesting because, like, let's say I was surfing over here and then just on the left side paddling all the way across, because I use this term smiley face, because this pile is like a pyramid, you can surf around it. And then if I was surfing to the other side, well, hell yeah, then I'm spinning off that shoulder. This is just executed on this side. So I'm entering on that left side and then doing a shoulder turn, compared to entering on this side and then using that momentum around the pile, which I call the smile, kind of the smiley face of that wave, and then doing... But I want to put terminology to these, like, hey, I'm turning towards the shoulder. So this is a shoulder turn. This is entering on the shoulder and then doing a shoulder turn. If I entered over here, I would be entering, doing a smiley face turn, and then a shoulder spin. On the other small wave, I enter on the shoulder, but I can't do a smiley face turn. It locks me in like over here. So I have to do a pile turn, and then, but that's a lot harder, and I'll show you why. Because here, I'm doing a shoulder turn, and this is getting my body up onto this pile, and then so it's really easy for me to go from here to there, which I've been having a hard time with. Just in general on this, on my strong side, on my left side, I have a hard time body switching from there to there. And typically what I'll have to do in some of these smaller waves is I'll have to low side the boat. So I'll spin, and then what'll happen is I'll have to get to that side right there. This time I'm able just to jump to that, the prior's corner. That's a weird thing to say, but anyway, just like jumping to a pry, which is farther away. So, and let's see if I'm heavily leaned back. That's the thing that I want to focus on this, is like, am I doing this spin from a leaned back position? Yes, heavily leaned back. And this is still, I can still practice, because if I wanted to jump to the other side, I'm going to spin. And if I needed to low side this wave, I can practice jumping to this corner, which I'm just not good at. And so, so I need to practice that. Even just going from this side to the other is very difficult. And again, I'm just going to say, because I'm up against this pile, it's a downward slope to the other side. If I was doing a pile turn, it's like I'm over here, and then I have to, I don't know, like sometimes it can feel like going uphill. But in this case, I can jump kind of to the downhill side, and hell yeah. And now we're going to talk about trying to do this again. So we can kind of just see that I'm edging and kind of staying in. I'm trying to get the boat to rotate the other way, thinking that's the move, but it's not the move anyway, because this is so fast, it's going to kick me out anyway. And this wave has really nothing to stay on. Maybe like right in there, I should work that pocket. So we'll talk about that, because if I can spin this and then keep the boat from spinning out and trying to lock it in right there, let's see how I get pieced out. Yeah, it's just really tough. But anyway, so what I'm going to talk about is like, well, let's set up for another spin. So just get over here and then lean on the back and then just spin again. And so that's something that I have never done, you know what I mean? But that's why I'm analyzing this footage. And this is because it's super subtle. And that's what I enjoy about these small waves. There's such subtleties, but they're small, and it requires fast movements, but low consequence. You know what I mean? falling out is kind of low consequence. Really high consequence if this is a man-made feature. If there's a piece of rebar down there, or just like, oh, I hate these low water waves where you're just falling in and you just don't know if it's smooth bottom down there. I definitely should get a snorkel and just take a look, you know what I mean, see if there's anything funky. I mean, it'd take you 2 seconds to see something funky. Maybe, you know. All right, so hell yeah. So that's what I want to work on, is just get to that low side and then try to spin. And we could have like right here, because we're like super low, and our position is just perfect right there, just, you know what I mean, but I just didn't. So let's compare that to the position here. So when we do drive in, you know what I mean, we're in that kind of same low side. Low side, we're leaning back and we're putting our nose right there, and then we're just executing that spin. So there's no reason why we couldn't do this spin twice. So like right here, lean back and then lay it in. I don't even know if I would even have to get that to bite. It feels like I need to get it to bite, but no, I'm aggressively paddling forward. I think I'm deep enough in here that I can just, you know, reef a pry and then do a spin to win. And hell yeah. And so this is good, because this will be a wave that will help me on this strong side to spin and body shift. Okay, hell yeah. So that was a, you know, longer video. This is just more for me though, because I'm just trying to figure out, the next time I go out, I can do multiple spins. And you can't if you don't look at your footage, because you're just going to go out there and kind of do the same thing. You're just like, well, I'm just going to try to paddle into this corner like I was doing. Made no sense. Might as well look at this one more time if I'm just going to talk about that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's like if you don't film yourself, then you don't know what to do next. And you might think there's nothing to do next. But I put things into categories of like, one, I'm probably slow to the party. You know what I mean? So I can always do something faster. Two, looking at these videos like, oh, I can just actually do something I haven't been doing. And usually, you know, and again, I can do it fast and the timing can be done correctly. All right, hell yeah. So that's it. I don't think I want to say anything more. But yeah, just this is a little difficult. I can't even surf this wave, but the fact that you know, like right there, I'm trying to just stay on, just kind of, and that takes all my effort. But just knowing that I could spin on repeat, perfect, spin right there, you know what I mean? And then the fact that it holds me in that corner, I got to capitalize on that. So I'm actually looking forward getting out the next time we'll do it. So, all right, thanks for joining me on this one. Booyah.